Switching from an iPhone 12 mini to an iPhone 17 Pro. What was that like? Well, that's what I did. I had an iPhone 12 mini. I bought it new 4.5 years ago, and finally switched to an iPhone 17 Pro. And so in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what that switch was like. Was it worth it? So on and so forth. I'm SketchyBot 3000. You're on Nerd Something or Other, where we just chat about nerdy tech stuff and have a good time, and we share in the comments. I love hearing from you all, your opinions on the stuff too. I don't tend to get into the really tech spec kind of stuff. There's plenty of videos out there for that. We're just here to chat and share opinions and have a good time. So, I'm a bit of an Apple nerd. I've loved Apple for a long time, but I do switch back and forth between Mac and Windows and iPhone and Android and all that. But it's been a while now. I use a Windows computer, but I also have an iPad, and I've been on iPhone for a pretty long time now. What did I have before? I had a Pixel 2 XL before the iPhone 12 mini. But I love that iPhone 12 mini, and I still am, I don't know, I guess I've had this phone long enough. I'm getting less and less upset that they don't have an iPhone 17 mini. I really want the iPhone 17 mini Pro. That would be awesome. Get the 3 cameras set up and the cooling system and all that. I was having a lot of issues with my Pro, not a lot of issues with it overheating, but if I took a road trip and I use it for GPS on my dashboard, it was gonna overheat and the screen would go black, but it would keep running in the background. So having an internal cooling system was very attractive to me. But yeah, I love that iPhone 12 mini a lot. And that's part of why I had it for 4.5 years. That's the longest I've ever had a phone. And I try to keep them as long as I can, but eventually I start running out of space and running into issues with the camera or the battery or something. And battery can be fixed, but you start adding on other problems. And that 12 mini got a lot of flack when it came out for having a poor battery, and I think that was all overblown. It was not as big of a battery and long-lasting battery as some of the bigger iPhones, but I had no problem getting full-day use out of it when I bought the phone and having like an extra 20% at the end of the day. Now, 4.5 years later, the battery's not as good, and I found myself charging it throughout the day. If I hopped in the car, I'd plug it into the charger. If I got back from a workout and was changing and getting cleaned up, I'd throw it on the charger, and that would get me through the day just fine. But I was dealing with that. I was also dealing with I had 128 gigs on that phone, which was a lot when I bought it, but nowadays the way I use the phone, the apps, the photo storage and video storage and stuff, that was starting to feel a little bit cramped. And then the real killer was the oleophobic coating on the camera lenses was worn out. And now it seemed like every time I pulled the camera out to take photos, which was a huge deal for me, especially because I got 2 little kids. I love taking photos of my boys all the time. Family photos. But whenever I took the camera out, the lens would be covered in a fingerprint and the pictures would come out looking really foggy. And, at first I just like, oh, well, I could just kind of give it a second to let the fog clear off. But it didn't, because it was oil, not water, right? And so I was having a real hard time getting good photos. And I really needed to carry like a cleaning cloth with me. But that wasn't really realistic, because these moments, these family moments, they're there and they're gone in a couple seconds. I don't have time to pull out a cleaning cloth that I probably forgot anyway, wipe the lens, and then capture the moment. The moment's gone by then. So I love that phone. I love the size of the phone. I've got an iPad and a laptop if I need something bigger. I love that phone fit in my pocket so easily. It fit in everything so easily, and I could reach the top of the screen so easily with my thumb. It was more ergonomic. But it was time. 4.5 years, I got some good life out of it. I've revamped it and given it a new life, given it to my son. It doesn't connect to cellular towers anymore, but he can use the Wi-Fi to watch videos and play games and stuff. But now I've got an iPhone 17 Pro. I got the silver one. I love that. You got the scratchgate or whatever everybody's talking about. Except that doesn't apply if it's a silver phone because there's no paint. So who cares? And yeah, I love that it's got the cooling system. And I'm actually really curious to see how that cooling system does when it gets really cold out here. Like, it's chilly today, but it's actually pretty nice right now. And we've had some cold days, but it hasn't gotten like super cold yet. But I do a lot of running and exercising in the morning, as if you've watched my videos, you're probably getting that idea. But when it gets real cold, my phone will freeze and all my electronics will freeze on my run. And unless I put them into a warm pocket somewhere and then get them all sweaty and gross. But I'm curious if with this new cooling system, if it will actually also help it keep warm. I mean, I don't think the phone's putting off a lot of heat when I'm running, so it probably won't help. But I'm assuming if it helps to spread the heat to keep the phone cool, what if it spread the heat to help keep it warm when it was cold outside? Again, I suspect it's probably not enough heat to matter. I'd have to be running the phone a lot harder, doing some sort of gaming on it or something. But I'm very curious to see how that turns out. The thickness of the phone, you know, Apple, I don't care, man. Make it thick as long as it's functional, right? I love that this has metal at all the corners. Oh my, that glass sandwich design was beautiful. But as an industrial designer, and I took some engineering class, and I'll tell you, I've taken Engineering 101 and I've taken Industrial Design 101. And you know the first thing they teach you within the first few weeks? If you drop an object, where is it most likely to land? Tell me in the comments if you knew this one, right? It's going to land on a corner. And so if you want to make something tougher and more rugged, you rubberize the corners, right? And if you just want to make something that just will hold up on a normal drop, not a big deal, then don't make the corners fragile. Now, Apple's glass has been really tough, and I'm surprised how well those phones do hold up against drops. But man, they were stretching glass to the corners. The Apple Watch drives me nuts. The Ultra Watch fixes this, but all the others wrap, like, they wrap the glass around the corners like anything that's going to take an impact, they cover it in glass. Again, their glass is pretty tough, so it tends to work out, but like, as a designer, it drives me nuts. And I love that this iPhone 17 Pro is wrapping metal around all the corners. Now, the front screen goes pretty close to the corner, so, you know, but it's still not all the way to the corner. That really means a lot to me, that it is, you know, I know a lot of people hate this design. I love this design. I love the way it looks. I think that it is very clean and beautiful and functional. I don't think the last design was particularly functional. It was pretty, but not functional. And I love that this one is both pretty, clean, and functional. So the videos I've watched about drop tests on this is it is far more durable than the last design of iPhone. Size. So obviously I didn't buy the Max because I wanted a smaller phone. I have been surprised because when I bought my iPhone 12 mini, I actually bought the iPhone 12 first because the battery thing was making me nervous. But within a week, I ended up returning it because it was driving me nuts. Because at the time, I felt like there was a lot of user interface buttons and stuff that were at the top of the screen and were difficult to reach. And it was driving me nuts because I felt like I had to do that, like do this gymnastics with my hand all the time. I know they've got the little function where you can slide the whole interface down, but that was kind of tricky to use. I've never been able to get that to work really reliably. But I just, and so then I returned that within a week and got the iPhone 12 mini and loved it. So now I've got this iPhone 17 Pro, which is probably about the same size as that other phone that I bought, hated, and returned. but I'm just not seeing that same kind of issue. I don't know. I don't think that the interface is quite as top heavy as it used to be. I mean, when the iPhone first came out, it was designed to be able to reach everything with your thumb. And there was a lot of, like Apple was pushing to have that back button in the top left corner. And that worked fine when the iPhone was way smaller. And I think that when I got the iPhone 12, I feel like they were still kind of moving the interface away from that maybe. And I feel like there's not as much of it in that top left corner as it used to be. But if it is, it just doesn't seem to be as much of an issue. And I don't know if this phone just kind of, like, I know you can kind of rest your finger on the plateau on the back, and that kind of helps moving the phone up and down. And so maybe that's the difference. I'm not really sure what it is, but whatever it is, the big size doesn't seem to bother me like it did before. I've really liked this phone a lot. I've had a few moments where it felt like it was too big, but I've had this phone for maybe a month now, I think. And I've been pretty happy with the size. It's been good, right? And coming from an iPhone mini 12, that someone who loved it and didn't want to give it up, I'm a little surprised by that, but I've not had problems with the size. Camera. Yeah, the camera's been amazing. I love the camera. Right now, I'm using this is the 17 Pro that I'm on right now. I'm using the selfie camera, and I'm using it in that new, like, I'm holding the phone portrait mode, but I'm shooting in horizontal mode. I don't know. I mean, that's not really groundbreaking to me like it is a lot of these other YouTubers are going on and on about it. I think it's a great feature. I'm glad they added it. I'm not so head over heels for it like everybody else is, but yeah, it works. It's good. I like it. It's good. I do wish they would move the video on the screen up towards the camera, because it's, like you get that thing where, like, okay, now I'm looking at my picture on the screen, but it doesn't look like I'm looking at you anymore. But if they would move that up towards where the island is, or give me the option to put it where the island's actually kind of over my image, that would be perfect. So I could look at the picture and the camera and be looking right at you guys. That would be really helpful. So I think that was kind of a weird oversight for Apple, but whatever. Maybe they'll fix that later. I'm sure some other app developers will come up with a third-party app that'll do that. Probably already have. I just haven't looked into it. I got more important fish to fry. So yes, I'm filming on it now. I love these cameras. They've been great. The pictures have been great. Another problem I was having with the iPhone 12, when I got it, the two lenses were great for me. I didn't need a telephoto lens. It was perfect for me the way it was, but my boys have been getting older and they've been getting more camera shy. And in order to get good shots of my boys, I can't be as close to them. I've got to be further back, and I've got to zoom in so that they're not as aware of me being there taking a photo. And I can get some really beautiful candid shots of my boys that way, and they'll be able to grow up and actually have photos of themselves instead of hiding from the camera and never, being able to look back and there's just a gap in the photo album for years. But, and so that's been driving me nuts with the iPhone 12 mini. I could zoom in, but then it's all pixelated because, it's a wide angle lens that's just being cropped in. But with this third lens, and it's got the 4x optical zoom, and I think it's like a 48 megapixel camera or something. So even when you digitally crop into 8x zoom, it's still really sharp and clean. And so I've loved that I can use the 8x zoom and be really happy with what I get out of this camera. And that's been great for getting better photos of the boys without them being so aware of it, right? But yeah, no, I've loved the cameras. They have been a great upgrade over what I was using before. The iPhone 12 took good pictures, but this one definitely takes better stuff. I think the low light performance is a little bit better. Still testing it out. I haven't gotten to test it as much as I want quite yet. But I am getting the impression that it just seems to do everything so much better. And I mean, we're talking what? 12, so that's like a 5-generation jump. It's a pretty big jump. So, but that jump does show. It's a good Really good set of cameras. Oh, real quick word from the sponsor, Charming Quail Jewelry Design. I'm the founder and designer, Alex Reynolds, and I specialize in making nerdy jewelry that is super elegant and makes other people jealous, right? So if you are interested in nerdy jewelry, or you have a loved one who would be interested in some nerdy jewelry, but they need something they can wear every day, they want something that's going to last, and something that's going to fit in and not have those people being like, oh, you're into that thing, you're one of those people. No. It's easy to find nerdy jewelry, but it's cheap, it's junky, it's obtuse looking. Don't do that. Go to charmingquail.com. If you don't find what you're looking for, go to charmingquail.com/contact and let me know. And let's talk about what I can do for you through some custom design, right? And I can custom design. My background is in designing wedding jewelry, custom wedding jewelry. And I can't tell you how many requests I got for really nerdy stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting challenge. How am I going to do this, but make it something that they can also wear to work, wear to church, synagogue, wear out with the in-laws, wear out with those terrible people that are always super judgmental, but have everybody be jealous of the beautiful piece that they're wearing instead of being judged, right? And that's what I did. I got really good at doing that. And so if you want jewelry that helps you or your loved one revel in whatever they nerd out about, but do it with an elegance that makes everybody jealous, you let me know. charmingquail.com/contact. So back to the question at hand. Do I regret giving up my iPhone 12 mini and getting an iPhone 17 Pro? No. I absolutely love this iPhone 17 Pro. I've loved the move to this phone. I am not giving it up. God, it was expensive. I don't like how much I paid for this phone. I'm embarrassed for how much I paid for this phone. But boy, is it a good phone. I feel like I got what I paid for. Still have a hard time wrapping my mind around like phones costing this much. This is nuts. I bought my boys gaming laptops. I think for both of them, it cost me less than what I paid for this phone. Oh God, I just figured that out as I said that. Oh God, this is so weird. How did phones get this expensive? So I don't love the price, but moving on from the price, I love everything else. It's such a great phone. I'm using it for work. I'm using it for making YouTube videos for work, and it's working great for that. I do have a mirrorless camera that I use for doing photo shoots of the jewelry and stuff. But I love the video that comes out of iPhones. Like, it just seems to integrate. It just looks more professional to me. Like, I know it's obvious I'm just walking around with a camera here, but I mean, if I didn't tell you it was an iPhone, could you really tell that this wasn't a mirrorless camera that I had in my hand? Not really. I mean, there's nothing about iPhones that really are telltale that you're shooting on a phone. Their video and their audio are just very smooth and natural. Anyway, yeah, I love this phone. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and like the video. If you've got any other questions about the iPhone 17 Pro, let me know in the comments. I'm very curious what else you guys would like to know about it, and what you'd like to know about the switch between the iPhone 12 mini and this. But yeah, check out this next video here. If you've had fun in this video, I think you're going to really love this one too.